Now, these are one of the videos that I really have never made before, and I don't really think it's ever going to be one of those videos that I continue to make. I don't really necessarily like to call out people who send me negativity or hate comments or whatever. I think it's kind of silly to categorize and go after certain people who don't like you or don't like your content for silly reasons, but you know what, today we're going to do that. Now, obviously, before we get right into the video, I just want to make one thing crystal clear with everybody watching. Even people who do enjoy my content would be mad that anybody would send me hate if there is any of you that, you know, feel that way. But the first thing I want to make crystal clear is that I don't condone sending this man hate. I don't condone doing anything that could mess with this guy's schedule. I don't want anything bad to happen to this guy. I don't want anything bad to happen to a lot of people, honestly. I'm just here just to vibe and make videos that I think I want to make and talk about things that I want to talk about. So once again, for the final time in this video that I will say it, I don't condone sending this man hate or any other type of things at all. Now, I know what all of you are thinking. Who is the guy that we're going to be talking about today? And the guy that we're going to be talking about is a man by the name of CoolMan Caravan. Now, you may be wondering, why are you talking and, you know, beefing with this guy? I wouldn't necessarily call it beefing, by the way. It's just me responding to a few of the things that he said that I disagree with. Well, this guy has been religiously for the past about 10 hours, from what I've noticed, depending on when this video came up, been commenting on a multitude of my videos saying that I'm in the wrong and that the videos that I make are incorrect. Now, for a lot of the videos that you'll see, I am correct about the things I say due to the fact that I usually will come with tangible evidence and stuff like that. He'll sit there and he'll say and he'll try to defend people that are pedophiles, people that are racist, etc. So this guy, for example, he said this in one of my comment sections. Now, the first thing I saw from CoolMan Caravan was when he was in my comment section on a video that I made recently about Dylan Zippy. He said, how is he supposed to inherently know that the girl was underaged? Now, in the video, I talk about how a man by the name of Dylan Zippy was talking to a girl that was of the age of 14 or 13 when he was at the age of 19. He also, in this comment, kind of defends it again by saying that he was a teenager himself. Yes, you're correct, he was a teenager at the time, but 19 is also over the age of, like, you know, consent and legality. So he's over the age of 18, 19 talking to a 13 to 14-year-old girl. Now, he says himself explicitly, Dylan Zippy does, in his apology video that he made, which really wasn't even an apology. It was kind of him just sitting there saying he's happy he reached 40,000 followers and he's thankful for everybody, but he's sorry that he talked to a girl that was 14 years old. So Dylan in the thing said that he didn't know that she was 14 years old, which was proven to be kind of false with how he was sending and talking to her. He asked her questions that were really nasty that you wouldn't ask just a regular girl that you were talking to or flirting with. He said, do you think it could fit, and stuff like that, kind of proving that he was, you know, talking to a girl that was much younger and hasn't done anything or have any sexual experience. Also, that the people in their group chat kind of exposed him for talking to a 14-year-old girl as well. If you want more, this comment that he made actually kind of made me laugh when I first read it. He said, you're so obsessed with what teenagers are doing on TikTok, maybe we should start looking into your social media accounts and histories. First of all, my socials will be here on screen if you want to go follow me. A little bit of a self-plug, I know, I'm shameless. The next one would be that I want to speak about was the fact that I myself am a minor. Like, I mean, sure, you can look into my social media accounts, please do if you want to. I'd appreciate a follow, I guess. But the one thing that I thought was kind of funny about it is he commented this on a post about Tony Lopez. And Tony Lopez, in the video, I talk about how he was caught, you know, talking to a 14-year-old girl or 15-year-old girl when he was over the age of 20. Now, Tony Lopez being over the age of like 20 and talking to a minor at the time with his TikTok fame, he had a very general, you know, wide conception of what the perfect body on a male would look like. You know, six-pack, nice chest, a good back, works out a lot, you know, cool. But in Tony's apology video, and by apology video, I mean he said it on an Instagram Live, and in the entire time, no one was mentioning what he did on the Instagram Live. Tony's apology simply stated that nobody teaches you how to live this lifestyle. In my comments, that was, what lifestyle teaches you to be a fucking predator on the internet? Whether you get clout or not, it should never change your, you know, morality or anything like that. It's still disgusting. Now we're going to veer away from the comments that he's left, but we're going to get right back into him later. I just kind of wanted to switch it up and show you guys a little bit of his own content. Yes, CoolMan Caravan does make videos, and we're going to talk about a few of his views, especially this one right here, which is inherently just complete sexist and kind of bullshit with all the points that he makes. I'm going to talk more about it once he tells you guys about what he's saying in here, but after he's done speaking, we're going to talk a little bit more about it and go in depth with it.
Purely physical. Because women don't work that way. Women don't make decisions based on logic like men do. And this is a reality. This is something that again, we can pretend it's not true as long as you want to play the game for. but it's doing nothing but hurting society. We've seen it over and over again. Women are reportedly less and less happy every fucking year. And you wonder why, because they weren't made to be in the positions we're putting them in. And really, it's our fault. It's not their fault. They grew up in a society that we made. So it's not fucking their fault. Trust other men. Like, if you're going to have a pilot flying a plane, like and you have a female versus male pilot, you choose the male pilot. Because as men, we understand that in times of great stress, when the tension is at its strongest point, women tend to freeze up and not act. And we've seen this in police body cams, and we've seen this. And I'm not saying men don't do it too, right? But I am saying that men are a lot less likely to do it. And again, I've seen this through my own personal experience. You're not going to tell me that reality is wrong. And that's basically what these people, these leftists, these people that fucking hate Andrew Tate, they're trying to tell you that reality is wrong. They're trying to tell you not to believe your eyes, that the world you live in isn't as it seems, it's as they tell you it is. And it's fucking not true. So
Yeah, I know. He said a lot there, and that's a lot to take in. So the first thing I want to talk about is the stupid-ass metaphor of if I have a man pilot or a woman pilot. You'd rather have the man. I would rather have the pilot who's more experienced in this profession. Anybody who can just do the job better, I take it, and I'm not going to base it off of gender. Like, let's say, for example, a male pilot's been flying for 2 years now, and he has no accidents under his belt. So as I just said, the man will have 2 years of experience with no accidents. Let's say the woman has 15 years of experience and no accidents. I would obviously choose the one that has more experience flying the plane. The one that's more experienced in the profession will do better. For example, that's why we have people train people in the jobs. Like, let's say, for example, when you go to work at McDonald's, you're going to have someone that's going to train you on how to work the equipment. It's all about experience in professions, and that's really what it boils down to. This guy's views on women are extremely terrible and sexist. Now, what he said in the video is that a lot of his stuff is backed up by statistics and stuff like how women are reportedly less happy each year, and then he goes on at the end of the video to say that, you know, from his own experiences. Now, I don't know what type of sources that this guy reads, maybe goofster.net or thegooftroop.com, but you know what, it is, I suppose. So I'm going to show you another video of him, and if you haven't picked up on it by now, this man really likes Andrew Tate, and he calls him the top G, which, I mean, you know what, a lot of people that do like Andrew Tate. A lot of people hate him, a lot of people like him. If you're one of my fans, you like to watch my videos, and you like him, you know what, keep watching, fine, we have different views. I'm someone who doesn't necessarily agree with a lot of things Andrew Tate says, but I can admit that he's right in some areas, and one of the areas that I can admit that he's right in is the fact that his views on hard work. That's genuinely correct on a lot of things that he says, but almost 99% of his views are extremely terrible, and I just can't necessarily get behind him or agree with him ever. But this guy seems like he's religiously into Andrew Tate. He's a Tatester to be exact. So the next clip I'm going to show you is him talking about a few things. Here it is.
fucking do my job and drive my fucking cars. Because why wouldn't I? The only thing you can do is move forward. And that makes so much sense to me. That resonates with me so much, because we live in a world now where we're told to focus so much on our emotions and how we're feeling bad and so sorry for each other. And everything is just this big jerk-off fest of fucking us masturbating each other with emotions. It's fucking stupid. It is stupid. I agree with him 1000% on that.
No, I interrupted because he's acting like us being social and emotional are a very bad thing when it's really not. Us being so emotional and showing like much more emotion throughout the years is only a good thing. It advances the studies within psychology. For example, back in World War II, a man that was sent on the front lines of Europe, who's been fighting for a very long time, came back from a battle after seeing all of his friends dead. And when he saw all of his friends dead, he was like what we would call today shell-shocked, which did not exist back then. Now, what a general did in the army, which got him removed for a while, but he was eventually put back in because they started to lose battles on the European soil. He slapped the man that was shell-shocked because he acted like he was just a coward, like a man who had no honor. When in reality, the man was so shell-shocked that he couldn't do anything, he couldn't function. Emotional problems are a very big problem that exist in today's society because of a lot of things, especially a leading uprise in things like depression. It's something that needs needs to be talked about wildly a lot more. Mental health is so severely important to everything around us. If someone's so mentally depressed, it's going to lead to a lot of bad things, and it should always be talked about a lot more. I'm going to continue to let him talk now, but I just want everybody to know, if you're ever struggling from anything mentally, and you know, you can't really handle anything anymore, and you're feeling overwhelmed, and you feel like you can't handle anything at all, please tell somebody. It's not worth holding on to. Please just talk more about your emotions, everybody. It's healthy.
Another thing that he said that I agree with is that women cheating is different than men cheating. Biologically, it's just fucking true, man.
Now, another thing that he liked to mention to say is that a man cheating is, not, the same as a woman cheating, which is another thing I find to be really fucking stupid. Especially, for example, if you're in a monogamous relationship with one person, anybody that cheats in that relationship is the cheater. Either way, if, let's say, for example, the man cheats, the man cheats. If the woman cheats, the woman cheats. Either way, it's fucking disgusting. Now, you see, he likes to act like, it's just this thing that doesn't really matter, and that the woman would hold on to a lot more emotion and attachment to that cheating, one night stand that they had, and the man would not hold on to it. But that's not really the case at all. It's just the case of the fact that who's more mature and who's more loyal and who's more disciplined to not do that at all. It's not different at all. Whoever does it is the worst person. Like, if you're cheating in a monogamous relationship, either way it's the same. It goes both ways. By no means is a woman or a man cheating any different. It's still the same. And if you think any differently and you're going to say it's backed up biologically, what fucking biology backs that up? Please, for the love of God, if you're going to make a response to this, CoolMan Caravan, please, for the love of God, tell me what biology backs up that stupid fucking outlandish statement.
And I'll go back to the age-old analogy. If a key works on many locks, it's a master key. It's a good key. If a lock can be opened with many keys, it's a shitty lock. I mean, this is... And we can act like this isn't true until the cows come home, because I know women want to be told that they can do whatever they fucking want to do, and that it's just the same as if a man does it, and that their life will be fulfilling if they go out and sleep with 1,000 fucking dudes and go to bars all night long and are washed up by 30 years old. But really, they won't be happy. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. And it's just different. If I cheat on my girl, let's say I have a girlfriend who I'm in love with. I'm in a loving, committed relationship. And say one night, I have sex with a girl. That can mean nothing to me. I can still be fully in love with my girlfriend and go back to her and have no plans on leaving her and still love her just the same, and have this purely physical sexual act with another woman. But on the other hand, when women are cheating, emotion is tied to it 99% of the time. In my 20-something years on this planet, I have yet to meet one single woman.
So in the video I just showed you, he talks about how a man cheating and a woman cheating is different. And then he goes on to say that if he was to cheat with a woman that he was fully committed to and loved, it'd be different if she was to cheat on him, because she holds on to attachment a lot more than he does. Which obviously isn't true. And, the fact that you saying it is probably, the cause of you not having a full-time, loving, committed relationship. Now, in his own words, he said that a woman would do that every night and go out and sleep every night with, over 1,000 men. When she hits 30, she's washed up, and whatever lifestyle that was is not sustainable. You know what? You actually are correct on that one. But the thing that you're missing out on is that if a man was to do that too, he's also not sustainable. If he's going to spend all of his life just sleeping with women and not be committed to somebody that he's in love with, he'll ultimately overall just lead to something that doesn't make him happy. If your only life goal is to sleep with women when you go out to the bar, it's not going to really be much fulfilling for you. But all of his analogies are really fucking stupid in the video you just watched. For example, a master key can open all keys, but a bad lock that gets opened by a lot of keys, is a bad lock. That's a really old one that I've seen. I saw that one when I was like 12 years old on Instagram, and I was like, huh, that's funny. I never really took it serious, but then again, maybe I'm still more mature than this guy when I was 12. Now, we're going to review one more video from this guy before we go back to the comments, because a lot of the comments are personally based towards me about what he's saying. He's kind of calling me out in a lot of ways, saying that we should check my socials and act like I'm a pedophile when I don't really understand it. It's just a baseless, stupid insult. But to go back to the videos that this guy does make, we're going to quickly look at one more video of his, and this video is kind of fucking goofy. It's one of the goofiest ones we've seen all day, so here it is. Quickly, I just want to point out before we watch this video and every other video that I've showed you so far of him, he's always driving a car, and he's always putting not only himself but other people at, risk. Especially, he could like hit a minivan or something and kill an entire family by doing this. I just quickly wanted to point this out if you haven't noticed, but the message to you, CoolMan Caravan, please be better.
It's a good tool to use. It's not something that should be shown in a negative light, but there is a flip side to that coin, and that is condemnation. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. So, we judge someone, right? Because people do terrible things. I'll give you that. People abuse animals. People take advantage of the elderly. People harm small children. Do all these sort of nasty, devilish things. How dare they? We judge these people. We say, okay, you're not allowed to be in society for this amount of time, whether it's a short time, a long time, or death. Whatever the case may be, we meter out that punishment. Okay, at that point, at that exact point, it serves no purpose to have contempt for that person.
Now, what he says here in this video kind of reminded me of like an old Japanese martial artist fighting style, but it wasn't just a fighting style, it was an ideology and a way of living. You see, it was called Aikido, and in Aikido, you were meant to overcome oneself and just completely forgive people and not show aggressiveness towards others. Now, what he's trying to say here is that once that these people are locked up and, put behind bars, that we should just forgive and kind of forget. But the main issue I have with this ideology and what he's saying here is how are you supposed to forgive people that would murder your daughter if you had one? How would you forgive people that murdered your son, murdered your mother, murdered your parents? How could you ever forgive them and just move on and overcome it? You couldn't just do that. How could you overcome somebody and forgive the people that shot up Columbine High School if your kid was one of their victims? How could you ever just forgive them and just let it go? It doesn't work like that. You can't just forgive people that have no sympathy for anybody or what they've done or what they've caused or their actions. They don't care about their consequences. They just wanted to inflict damage, and I'm not going to forgive them.
All it does is zap energy away from you. You're doing a meaningless task at that point. You are Sisyphus at that point, if you will, pushing the boulder up the hill just to fall back down again. It would not behoove you to be angry, upset, and show contempt for that person. I don't care what they did, man. I love every human being. This includes rapists, this includes murderers, this includes tax collectors, all police officers, all manner of people that folks don't like. I love them. You can still judge someone and say, hey, sorry man, you're just not fit to be in society. You're a danger to other people. We need to remove you. You can still have that while not hating the person.
No, I get what he was saying at the end of the video. You can still have that without hating people, and he is entirely correct there, yes. But the thing is, right, the hate is a universal thing, and you can never get rid of it. The problem with hate is that it's never going to go away. Everybody will always hate somebody in their life. It's genuinely just going to be like that forever. You can never have a Jewish person looking at them and saying that they loved Hitler. It's just not going to happen. Now, parents who have lost their child and the children that have been victims of school shootings, no parent would ever look at them and just go, I don't hate you. They're going to hate them. It's just how it is. You can't have someone that would take and take and take away from you constantly, and you would lose everything that you've ever desired and cared for, and you still don't come out hating him. That's just not how things worked, in my opinion. Now, moving back on to the comments that he made on my channel, really just kind of going at me and always trying to say that I'm wrong in a lot of scenarios. And maybe it's because he didn't like one of my own views that I made in one of my videos. Maybe it's because he didn't like something or this or that or that. But we're going to start talking about the comments again. And that's all of the videos that I want to show him. If you want to see more of his takes, if you do like him, please just go check out his channel. Maybe you guys can get along. And if you like him a lot, that's perfectly fine with me. I don't really care. But please, whatever you do, don't go to his channel and send hate. I don't condone that at all. Just let the man be. He has his own views and I have mine. But here's the next comment I want to talk about. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is when he said, it's not racist, there were black people working on the cartoon with him. And if you think that a cartoon makes someone racist, then I'd hate to see a reaction to real racism. Also, he has such a big following because not everyone has such thin skin as you. Now, I want to let this be known. I don't really have thin skin. I don't really let things ever get to me. I don't really necessarily care about a lot of things, but I do like to talk about them, and I do like to get my views on them. So, the first thing I want to talk about is this. And that's how he said that there were black people working on the anime as well. See, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I made a video on my channel called Ohio the Anime is a Scam, and in that video I bring up how it is a scam, and then, you know, I also bring up, you know, the guy who was directing Ohio the Anime's first anime he made called Black the Anime. The guy claimed that there were other black people working on, you know, the anime with him, but there was never actual proof that there was other black people working on it with him, and all of the black characters within that anime that they made had very, very disgusting stereotypical drawings. For example, they gave them really big lips, big noses, they gave them really nasty yellow teeth. They made their eyes not, you know, proportionate with each other. They just did things that were very stereotypical racist things to do that any person would see back in the 1800s. He did all of that, and you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me that it's not racist? How fucking dumb can you be, CoolMan Caravan? Also, before we move on to me talking about the next comment, I want to make a quick announcement that I don't think people making cartoons are racist, because there's a lot of cartoons out there that make extremely racist jokes, but the thing is with them, for example, like South Park, Family Guy, Cleveland Show, etc., they all make racist comments and racist jokes, but the thing about them is they don't only target one race like Black the Anime did. It only specifically targeted African Americans and black people. As for those shows and other cartoons, as you would like to call them, would, you know, target everybody in every single ethnicity group that there was. They'd make fun of whites, they'd make fun of black people, they'd make fun of Hispanics, they'd make fun of Asians, they'd make fun of everybody no matter what, because that's just what the show is. But as Black the Anime specifically targeted black people to go, you know, and just make fun of them. And if you want to say that there was other black people working, or there actually was black people working on Black the Anime, then you're probably extremely dumb. And if you can give me proof that there actually was black people besides one statement made by the creator, an actual tangible proof, I'd love to see it. Moving on to the next comment. Now, one of the other comments I saw was his idea and comment on my Daniel Larson videos. Now, for those of you who don't know, I made a few videos talking about Daniel Larson, and I tried to document him and my experiences on the Daniel Larson, you know, documentaries and the community that is evolving and revolving around Daniel Larson. I stopped making them because of how terrible the community could be, and I do plan on making a video one day talking about how real bad that community is, and it gets worse and worse as longer you're in there. I never really once ever spoken to Daniel. I never once was ever in contact with people that would hurt Daniel. I was only there to gain the truth and find answers. And obviously, like I said, I'm going to make a video going more in depth on this one day in my life, but I don't know when. So in this comment, he says, of course you don't care because you don't understand how severely autistic/abused a person's mind works. He is not going to make rational decisions. This is like telling a schizophrenic person to just stop hearing the voices. You are unable to see a world from a perspective that is so far from your own. Daniel is doing these things because he was failed by everyone around him for his entire life. He is supposed to be in a monitored group home. He is not supposed to have internet access. He needs to be in therapy. Now, one of the first things I want to address is, yes, you are correct. I'll never once be able to see the world from Daniel Larson's eyes. No one will. Not even someone that would evaluate him with a therapist degree or psychology degree or nothing could ever see exactly what we see from his eyes. No one can. The second thing I want to address here is that he is not supposed to have internet access, which to that you are wrong. By no stipulations were there ever provided or placed that Daniel couldn't have internet access on any of the group homes he was in. Another thing that I would like to say is a lot of the homes that Daniel was in, he was only kicked out due to Daniel's actions. And it wasn't just Daniel's actions, it was the people that would manipulate Daniel into doing such things. If you really would sit there and watch the video on Daniel Larson, I would love to inform you more about him before you open up and say some really stupid things. For example, in the next comment, which he says is this: if you were constantly in a group home where you had person of color caretakers that were basically evil and had no idea how to handle you or your mental disorders and reacted with violence, you'd probably be making racist remarks too. Only on one occasion did we ever see the caretaker of Daniel Larson. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the caretaker of Daniel Larson at the time, he had a multitude of different ones throughout, was named Jonas. And Jonas was a Nigerian man who was extremely old and probably did not, you know, have the certifications or qualifications to be taking care of Jonas. He was probably someone who just stepped up and was willing to give housing to somebody like that in need. But to continue on reading, he said that they were basically evil and had no idea how to handle you or your mental disorders and reacted with violence. You'd probably be making racist remarks too. Chill out. To respond to that in like one of the most simplest terms ever is even before those caretakers that he had that were people of color. Everyone before them and Jonas were always white. They were primarily white, like the same race as Daniel Larson. And the thing most, odd about that from what I find is the fact that even before them, Daniel was making these terrible racist remarks. Like when, for example, the porch incident, if you watched my documentary on him, Daniel was on a random guy's porch, and the guy from my perspective looked to be like, slightly white or Hispanic, one of the two. And, Daniel started using the N-word, and when people would ask him, why would you say that? That's a terrible thing. You can't do that. Daniel would respond with, yeah, I know, but it's okay if you're in danger. And that was why I said it's disgusting, and he can't do that. I don't understand how he would do that. Like I said before, I'm never going to see the world through his eyes, and I feel extremely bad for Daniel Larson as a whole. By no means does he deserve anything that's going on in his life. He doesn't deserve the torment. He's a pedophile and everything like that. Yes, I know, but he's mentally not there. Although I don't like him due to the fact that he is a pedophile and a racist and much more, he still is not fully there. And that's one of the things that I've mentioned throughout all 3 of my documentaries, and this guy's out here making it seem like I've never once felt sympathy for the man, when that's not the case at all. I'm simply there just giving my views, telling him how it is and how I feel, and that's only how I'm ever going to feel. So CoolMan Caravan, my one message to you before we continue on is please, for the love of God, change and grow as a person. This comment right here actually did kind of piss me off, because I don't know if he's referring to me as a type of person who gets a rise out of tricking him, when I never once ever did that. I was never really in contact with Daniel Larson, and by really I mean I was texting this one person that claimed to be him, but it turned out to be false. I was only asking Daniel questions, and I still have the screenshots of the questions that I was asking if Daniel's current manager at the time, or the person that was trying to help him, was manipulating him to fully expose that one guy. Now, from the things in my experiences in the Daniel Larson community, one of the things that I've noticed a lot is how manipulative it is. Now, in this comment you say, if you're the type of person who gets a rise out of tricking an obviously mentally ill man into saying and doing horrible things, you're worse than any lolcow on the internet. This is a severely broken little boy who never grew up. And if you're, I know exactly what you mean. If people do sit there and trick him, they are extremely bad people. That's why I dedicated a lot of my first videos on this to spreading more awareness about Daniel. As a matter of fact, one of Daniel's managers I know a lot about. A lot of people informed me, and they knew that I had a platform that was continuously growing at a nice rate, in my opinion. And as it was growing, and just growing and growing and growing, I got more and more information from people that I barely knew that would help me expose people that manipulated Daniel. And one of the people that manipulated Daniel in the past was a hacker by the name of Flexburger. Someone gave me Flexburger's real identity, but they told me he was kind of young when it was happening, and I think he was around the age of 14 or maybe something like that. And I didn't feel right exposing somebody who was so stupid and young to do something so dumb with Daniel Larson. I just didn't feel right about it, and I would never once, I would never ever manipulate Daniel, and I don't ever condone doing it. I think he needs to have no internet access and immediate help. He just needs to have help and be put somewhere for a while and get him the help that he needs. I wish Daniel the best, and I hope to God that one day someone can genuinely help this man, because he really desperately needs it. Now, that really is all the comments and clips from the videos that I want to talk about from this guy today. A lot of the major things that I've noticed that this guy does and says just are really stupid, and I don't agree with at all. Like, for example, there's this one short that this guy posted. As a matter of fact, I'll just show it right
Disabilities.
now.
Yeah, no fucking shit. Trying to water my weed plants and nothing's coming out.
So, CoolMan Caravan loves to show himself doing illegal things on the internet, which could immediately, get him in trouble real bad. So I suggest he deletes a lot of those stupid fucking things. For example, delete the things that show him driving and talking and looking at the camera. And the other thing, growing weed in his own home. Really dumb. You probably should not show that ever. If it's true, it could be a joke though. But yeah, I just wanted to respond to a lot of his comments and remarks that he's made on my platform, because I don't want other people to see and read his comments and just immediately think I'm like this terrible big monster and that everything I say is just completely wrong and I'm always spreading false misinformation when I'm really not. Like I said before, I'm here just to talk about the things I want to talk about. I'm here to grow a platform. I don't really want anything out of it. I don't have any devious personal gain here. I'm just kind of doing the thing that I like to do and connecting with people that I like to connect with. And another thing, His views on mental health and emotions are extremely dumb. I just wanted to reiterate that. If you're one of the people who religiously watch my videos, or you don't even watch them at all, if you ever need anybody to talk to, please try to reach out to me. I would love to just help you. I don't want anybody to ever suffer mentally. That's one of the hardest things to do, is to overcome some thoughts in your own brain. It's really hard when the thing that you're running on and functioning on is turning against you. But that's really all I had to say today for today's video. I just wanted to make sure that I was spreading a little bit and responding to this guy. Obviously, for the last time, please don't send this guy any hate. And if you want to subscribe, subscribe. But other than that, please have a blessed day or a good night, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.